Hi everyone, thanks to join this video. Today I'm talking about Java thread interview questions. Okay, so in this video I will cover almost all the interview questions for experienced as well as for freshers. Okay, first let's go from beginning. Okay, so mostly that interview question will come from thread. It's in the multi-threaded environment. Okay, so topic which I'm going to cover in this discussion will be like concurrent access uh, on race condition, semaphore or mutex, synchronized, deadlock, starvation, fairness, and lock interface. Lock interface, I'm going to give a brief introduction. Then in the next next video, I will cover in detail. Okay, let's see concurrent access. What is concurrent access? So in the multi-threaded environment, there is a possibilities like multiple thread can access the common resource. Common resource in the sense you can say that common class, common class or common object you can say. So this some class I'm using as a common object, which will which just it will add the values, just it will increment the values. Okay, so it has that increment method and a display method. Display method internally it's calling this. So this is a common resource I'm considering. Um, so so what is concurrent access here? So I'm having the thread class, so my thread class. So in that thread class, I'm calling that object common object increment method. Okay. Mm, in the main class I'm trying to create the object. I'm for that common resource, common resource, you can say some class. Okay, so I'm creating two thread by using the same object. Means these two thread it's trying to share the same object. Okay, so it got started. Two thread I created and started. That means it's trying to, there may be the possibilities it will access the same time. Okay, so that is called concurrent access. The two thread may be possible to access the same time, the same method. So that is called concurrently. At the same time, it will multiple thread will access the uh, common resource. That is called concurrency. Okay. Um, so what it will happen if concurrency in the concurrency access? Okay, so there will, it will behave like it will return incorrect result. Okay, let's see in detail. So that is what it will happen. So if in the concurrency situation, uh, there is a possibilities of race conditions, and the race condition I will explain in detail. But uh, what is the race condition? So let's say thread 1, thread 2, both are it's trying to access the common method. In our case, common method in our case increment method. Okay, so let's thread 1 has that value, initial value 1, and it's trying to increment plus 1. Okay, and the thread 2 also it's that value has one value, and it's trying to increment plus 1. So both are trying to access at the same time. Okay, so let's say thread 1 it's incremented, so that value will be at 2, and the thread 2 will increment, will increment, that value will be for 3, and it will display. But the thread 2 will that expected value will be a 2, but it's actual returning, it will be 3. That value it's wrong actually, so it's corrupting. So it's incremented before thread 2 it's in process. The thread 1 it's incremented, then this will increment one more, so it got increased. So the expected value will not return. Okay, it will return like wrong value due to that multiple thread it's accessing the same common block. So that is what that is called race condition. So race condition, it means it will basically when concurrency access will happen, there may be the chance to give the wrong result. that is called race conditions. Okay, so what the solution for this race condition will be, mm, uh, first they tried with the semaphore, means we have to avoid this race conditions. So for the first option they uh, tried with the semaphore. Semaphore, it's nothing but it's a class in Java which will help to access the common resource. Shared common resource means what logic it's used internally, in the sense it's a kind of signaling. Okay, so there it's a simple class. In that class they have defined one variable, that variable value. So let's say if one thread is trying to access that common resource, that thread will increment that count value, then it will try to process. Once the process is completed on this common resource, then it will reset to value to 0. Then in the meantime, before accessing the common resource, it will check that semaphore count. If count is 0, then only it will allow to process the access the common resource. Okay, so so that is what the logic it used. It used in the in this semaphore class. And the mutex, it's same as a semaphore, but in the semaphore you can keep on increment the count. Like one, if you are trying to access one more time with 2, then 3, you can whenever you release a log, you can unlock it. It means you can allow n number of concurrent access. Let's say for a common resource you want to allow for 4 concurrent access, then you can define 4, then up to 4 you can allow. Then you can once you unlock the object, means unlock that log, then it will reduce the count. So the mutex means it's a 0 or 1. It will allow only one access at a time. So then it's a binary. You can also call it as binary semaphore. Mutex, it's nothing but binary semaphore. The value will be 0 or 1. 0 means you can able to access. 1 means it's accessing by other thread. So that is what the logic they have used. The disadvantage of this semaphore and mutex will be, um, there is no concept of wait or blocking state, or there is no option to move the thread into blocking state when other thread is processing. So we have to handle it in code itself. Like we need to check that semaphore count, whether it's a 0, whether it's a log is released or not. So for that we have to run the infinity loop, while loop. So until this count becomes 0, then you have to run infinitely. So it will consume the CPU cycle. Plus, if some reason that first thread it's not releasing the log, these also it will keep on processing. Then multiple thread it's waiting for that log, then it will consume CPU, CPU cycle. So it's kind of performance issue. It lead to performance issue. So then the next option that what they're trying the what we have in the sense, like synchronized, it's it's inbuilt method. Like just we can it's very easy to use. Just you can define a method or a block by using the synchronized keyword, nothing else. So everything will be handled by inbuilt. Okay, so internally what logic they are using, in the sense they are using basically object monitoring. So let's say if one thread want to access the common resource, then that thread has to acquire the log for that object before access that synchronized block. Okay, so it will internally use the means the multi-threaded environment. The thread will communicate each other by using the object method, wait, notify. Let's say if you one object it's secured the log and it's a processing, then all other thread will move to blocked state by default. Then once that first thread it's completed the task, then it will send notify or notify all to wait waiting to block the thread, then the thread scheduler will pick up that waiting thread, and it will move to runnable state. Mm. Runnable so based on the priority, and thread scheduler will take care of all those things. So but internally it will use a wait, notify, and notify all. Okay. This synchronize, it's other way of handling that race condition. So there are two type of synchronized method, synchronized class level synchronization, method level synchronization, and the two way you can implement. One is synchronized method or synchronized block. We'll see in detail. Okay. um, what is the what is the difference between synchronized method and synchronized class? Synchronized method means object level. No, sorry, this is some it's wrong. It's object level and class level. Okay. Not method level, it's object level. Okay, so object level in the sense, let's say for in my use case, I have some class. In that some class, I can create my, yeah, like five I can create 2 3 object. So so when one thread it's accessing processing on that object one, but other thread can get the log on the object two, and they can process. It's object specific. For some class you can create 10 object, and each thread can use one object, and it can process parallelly. Okay, so but in the class level locking, in the sense class level locking, you can make it will be a single log for all the object. Means it's a class level. You cannot do it parallelly. So for one class, one log. Means for in my case, it's a for some class only one log will be there. You need to acquire the log to process the synchronized method or synchronized block. Okay, that is a different object level and class level. So for to make that log synchronized block in class level, then you need to define the static method as a static method. Then it will be in class level. So you cannot create multiple object, and you cannot process it in parallel. So that is the difference between the object level and class level. Then there is a two different way. One is synchronized method, another one is synchronized block. Okay. Synchronized method in the sense it's just like normal method. So here increment method, I have. So this just increment method, you can include the keyword, then it will you can then nothing is required from developer side. Just we can include the synchronized block wherever you want to make make that critical section should be accessed by one thread at a time. Then that method you can define as a synchronized method. Okay. It just you can include it, but internally everything it will taken care. So once the one thread it's coming into the here inside, then means that thread will acquire that log of this particular class, some class object, and then it will try to process it. Then once it process completed, then it will release the log, and then other thread will continue to access this method. Okay. So that thread communication will happen by using that object class method, wait, notify, and notify all that. Okay, so that I already explained. Then synchronized block in the sense, it's same like synchronized method, but it will log the object only for this specific line, a specific method. It means basically it will reduce the scope. Let's say if in increment method, in my case I have one line of code, but there will be a possibility in single method there will be some 100 or 200 lines of code. So I don't want to block for all those 200 lines. So I need log only for the 5 10 lines. Then you can keep it only that 5 10 lines in the synchronized block. Then what it will happen, it will the log will be means object will be logged only when while running that particular line of code. Okay. So that is the difference between synchronized method and synchronized block. So that synchronized keyword also has some disadvantage. Okay, in that we don't know, means that is called that is called starvation or disadvantage of the synchronized keyword. Okay, starvation is nothing but like it's, let's say for there are 5 thread, it's running parallelly and it's trying to access the common resource. In my case, there is some class I'm accessing the increment method. Okay, so the 5 thread, it's trying to access that block. Okay. Mm. No, five thread it's accessing the thread one, means thread one, thread two, or having higher priority, and it's trying to access the frequent manner. So that so what will happen then, the first 2 thread, which is having the high priority thread, those thread only it will get the access of that log. Why? Because we don't have any in this pattern, they don't have any logic to give access, object access log in queue manner, or in priority, or in means equal access, means equal time. Let's say for thread 1 has higher priority, and so all thread 5 has low priority. So thread 1, it's trying to access continuously, then thread 5 will not get access at all. It has to wait. It will be in blocked mode, or it will be in waiting state itself for long time or infinite time. So for thread 1 to which is having higher priority, will continue to access that common object, and it will process it. Then other that low priority thread uh, will never get chance to get the object log. So that is called starvation. And that is called starvation. Okay. So these it's one of the disadvantage in the synchronized keyword. To solve this problem, the fairness, it's fairness, or the solution for the starvation, you can say. Fairness means you can give the log, or object log for to everyone in the sense, like number of time. Let's say I have 5 thread which is trying to access the common object, then thread 1 has higher priority, thread 5 has low priority, then everyone will get access. Means thread 1 first, higher priority thread will get the access of this log, then then thread 5 also will get at least will get once, means it will give the equal time of access to common resource. Like if thread 1 higher priority thread, it's getting one time access, then thread 5 also will get access, and that is called fairness. Means everybody will give equal number of time access. Okay, that is called fairness. It will avoid from the deadlock. Mm, okay, this will avoid from the deadlock. Okay, so this log interface they have introduced, introduced log interface. It has multiple implementation. Okay, multiple in read and run log, read write log, all those things. So so the basic method of the log interface. So log interface, it's a solution for the fairness, fairness, or solution for log interface solution for the starvation. Okay, so we have 5 methods. We have, yeah, 5 method: log, unlog. Log method, you can log the object, you can log it on, or you can by using unlog method you can unlock it. So the try log, it's what it will it's a new method. What it will do, it will check the log. It will try to get the log for that common resource. If log is available, means if there no other thread is processing, then it will get the log. If else it will come back and it will do the other task. So that is what try log. It will not this thread will not move to blocked state. So there is a possibilities to um, So completing the processing this, and then it once then it will try after some time. So here we can try lock we can call by using timestamp. So means what it will do, one if you try to call with this timestamp, it will wait for the specified time. If it's not getting the time within the time period, then it will come out. Okay, then the lock interruptibility. So then what this method will help to get the lock if the current thread it's not terminated, means not interrupted. Okay. Okay, so I will give separate video for this log implementation in detail. Okay, thanks to watching this video. If you like to see this kind of video, then you can subscribe Java Tech Bomb. Okay, thank you.